Welcome, everybody. My name's Karen, and I'm a recreation programmer at the Quinney Sports and Wellness Center with the City of Belleville. And we are offering a variety of virtual programs for everyone, all ages, all stages. We have uh, fitness programs, we have Learn and Create, where you can learn lots of great different things to do, start a new hobby. And then we also have our speaker series, which every week we have a different person in to talk about their organization or business. So today I do have Amanda Hill with us, and she is our community archivist with the Community Archives. And she is going to talk to us, excuse me, about how to use the archives when they are closed. So with no further ado, I'll turn it over to you, Amanda.
Thanks, Karen. Get my screen sharing here. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do with archival material while the archives are not open. And first of all, I would like to explain a little bit about what archives are. So archives are organizations which have a mandate to collect, preserve and provide access to documentary materials. This picture here is of the front window of the community archives here in the public library building. We're on the second floor of the public library building in downtown Belleville. So let's look at those three things a little bit more closely. So archives have defined collecting policies, which means we have a particular area or geographic area that we collect in. So some archives have a subject-based area. For example, the Ontario Jewish Archives collects materials from the Jewish community. The Ontario Law Society Archives collects legal information. And we have a geographical remit. So our remit is the City of Belleville and the County of Hastings. Archives are also safe spaces to store material. So once we've decided that something's worth collecting, it goes into our secure vault. This is a picture of the vault here in Belleville, and we have also secure digital storage space because a lot of materials we get these days are not physical, they're digital. So we have a lot of digital materials as well as physical ones. And our physical storage space is climate controlled. So we have temperature and humidity controls in our space so that the materials will last as long as they can, keeping the humidity levels at a reasonable state. If you're collecting materials, it's really important that people are able to look at them. So access is an important part of what an archives is all about. This is a photograph of the reading room here in the public library building, which is where I'm talking to you from. So we have space here for people to come and look at materials, but we also have a lot of materials that are available without having to come to the archives. So that's what this talk today is all about. We've been in existence now for 10 years, and during the course of that time we've been doing an awful lot of digitization of our collections. So these are some of the materials that we've been scanning or photographing and also sharing online. And you can use these for researching family history, personal histories, place histories, or if you're interested in a particular property, you can use them for researching houses or other buildings. So the digital gateway to all this material is our website. This is our homepage, so you can find it at cabhc.ca. You can see that there are three big buttons on the main part of the site, and I'm going to take you through those and show you where they lead you and how to explore these collections. So the first one, discover our collections. This takes you to our online catalogue. So let's just follow that link and you'll see what the online catalogue looks like. So this is a separate website where we're basically sharing information about all of our collections and also links to some of the digitized materials. So right at the top of the screen, you can see there's a search box here. So you just put, your topic of interest into the search box. So here I've done a search on Bay Bridge, and it brings back a lot of materials about the Bay Bridge between Belleville and Hastings and Prince Edward County. And you can also narrow down your search using these menu items on the left here, so to particular collections. So on the next page, you'll see that I've narrowed down the collections just to looking at newspapers. So these are all the newspapers that mention the Bay Bridge. And, you know, there's a lot of information here. You can spend a lot of time just looking through some of these old materials. So these have all been digitized and made available online. Or maybe family history is more your thing. So in this search, I've looked for the name Francis McAnany. And if you put speech marks around a phrase, it'll only look for those two words when they're next to each other. So this has brought back 6 results, 5 of which have digital objects. So if you can see a thumbnail, you can click right through to that. This is a record of a marriage certificate for Francis McAnany and Sarah Smart. And if you click on the image from here, you go right through to the digitized marriage record from 1868, this one. Oh, let's just go back. So there's, you can see there's one entry on this where there is no digital image. But if you click through, you'll see that you can still get to the description, even though there's no digitized record attached to it. So this is a set of deeds relating to land, and sure enough, Francis McAnany is one of the people who's mentioned in the deed. So if the digital record is not available, you can contact us at the archives and we can scan it for you. And then what we normally do in those situations, so long as there's no copyright issues, is we'll scan it and we'll then upload the record to this catalogue entry so that the next person who wants to look at it, it's there for them to see. And there's a few other ways. If you're not looking for something in particular, there's a few other ways you can explore the catalogue. So on the left here is you can browse by descriptions or by organizations and people or by subject, places or objects. So on the next screen here, you've got the list of subject terms that have been added to our catalogue descriptions. And you can see they're quite high level, but if you're interested in one of these topics particularly, you can explore the records that have been associated with that term. So on the next screen, I've clicked through to the science and technology heading. So here we have all the records that have science and technology attached to them as a term. And again, you can see some of them have got digital objects. So there's a 1936 article about the Belleville Parasite Lab, which was down on Dundas Street East, which you can read, or there's a history of the Stuart Warner Alamite company as well. And then at the bottom of the page here, there are some links to some of our most popular digital resources. So directories, maps, brochures, and the Outlook newsletter. Now, Outlook is the publication of the Hastings County Historical Society, and they've been publishing it for nearly 40 years. So there's over 300 issues of Outlook, and they've all been digitized and shared on this website. And then you can actually search within that collection from this page, whether you're looking at the Outlook newsletter, you can use this quick search option. And here I've put Susanna Moody's name into the quick search. And if we follow that link, you'll see that there are 73 different issues of Outlook that mention Susanna Moody. So Outlook covers all aspects of Hastings County and Belleville history. So nearly any historical topic that you might be interested in has had an article in Outlook. So you'll nearly always find that there's something in Outlook about a particular topic. It's a great resource, and it's still being published today. Okay. Now, the other thing I'd like to just touch on is the City of Belleville directories, which we've digitized. These are the Vernon's directories for Belleville, and they go back to 1909 and up to the early 2000s, but the ones we've digitized are up to about 1950. And we have quite a few here in the archives, but they also have some at Glanmore National Historic Site, and the library also has some. So this is a combination. This collection is from those three different collecting organizations. We have scanned all of the available directories. There are later ones which are not scanned, but actually the Family Search website has Vernon directories from 1950 onwards, so they are available online, just not through our website. So these are really interesting because they have two sections. There's a street by street section, there's a alphabetical section. So here we're looking at the Catherine Street and Cedar Street part of one of the directories. Here you can see we have 34 Cedar Street, there's an MJ Shappy. If you look at the alphabetical section, you find out a bit more about this household. So here we see that there's not just Michael J. Shappy, but also his wife Stella, and there's also a Betty Shappy living at the same address. Michael works as a lineman for the Bell Telephone Company, and Betty is a sales lady for the Reddick Bakery. And if you're interested in what the Reddick Bakery was, there's ways you can find out a bit more about it from our site, and this is where we're going to go next. So here's a nice photograph of the Reddick's Bakery from the 1970s down on Front Street. So let's explore the photographs and the maps next. So this is the middle button from our home page, and this takes you to a separate website where we can upload unlimited numbers of photographs and maps at high resolution. So this is the Flickr online photo sharing website. Now Flickr is enormous. There's hundreds of millions of photographs on here. So you really want to limit your search to just the community archives if you're only interested in looking at our photographs. And you do that by clicking on this little magnifying glass in the heading. So if you click on that, the picture changes and you can now see it says at the top community archives in the search box up here. So that means you're just searching our collections and not all the millions of other people's collections that are in the Flickr site. Makes it a lot easier to use. So so let's do a search here. This is I've just done a search for 128 Bridge Street East. And as you can see, we have 5 images of that particular property. So if you're more interested in just a general area, you might do a search. This is a search that I did for Frankfurt. And you can see this search is bringing back maps and photographs of Frankfurt. So last summer we did a big digitization project of a lot of our map collection. And so those are now available through the Flickr website. And if you just click into an image, you get a fuller picture of it, a bigger size picture. And you can actually download, if there's no copyright restrictions, you can download this and print it or do whatever you want with the picture. You can use it as a basis for a creative work if you want to. They're all free of copyright if they're in the Flickr site. So you can see at the bottom of the image here, there's a little downward pointing arrow. If you click on that, you'll see you have a few options. So you can either download different sizes, or the option at the bottom says view all sizes. I would click on that, and then you get to see all the different options available. So here you can see all the different size pictures that you can download. And so just click on the one you want and right click on the picture to download it to your machine, or just follow the link where it says download. And then you can take it to a print shop if you want to take the file to a print shop and get it professionally printed, or you can obviously just print it on your own device. Okay, so that's how you find our photographs and maps. And then the final option on our homepage is to sign up for our monthly newsletter. So if you're interested in the work of the archives and in our collections, this is something we produce every month, just sort of news about new editions, little bits of history snippets. So you can just sign up there and we'll email you the newsletter at the beginning of every month. We also have some social media accounts. So this is at the bottom of our homepage. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And here I've just got a list of other resources that are available. That these are not part of the Community Archives website, but they're other resources that are useful for local history and are freely available online. And you can get to those from the collections page on the Community Archives website. Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening. And so you can contact us at this email address and this phone number.
And if anybody would like to try any of our other virtual programming, go to our website at qswc.ca. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks, Amanda, and thank you everyone for joining us.